SEO could be the one thing that's holding you back from making a lot of money on Fiverr every month. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about Fiverr Gig SEO, what it is and how you can use it strategically to get more buyers to see your Fiverr gigs so that they can buy your Fiverr gigs, helping you make more money every month on Fiverr. Let's get into it. So Fiverr SEO really can make all the difference to whether or not buyers are actually seeing your gigs. SEO stands for search engine optimization. Search engine optimization is relevant anytime someone is creating something on the internet that needs to be found by someone, whether that's a buyer, a viewer, whatever. SEO is relevant here. If we were to use the world's most popular search engine, Google, as an example, SEO would be things or strategies you implement, let's say in a blog post, for example, to give your blog or that post a good chance or a better chance of appearing in Google's search results when someone is searching for either the topic of that blog post or something related to that blog post. SEO helps make that post appear in search. It helps make it get eyes on it. So this all actually relates back to Fiverr, because Fiverr, like Google, is a search engine as well. People can use that little search bar at the top of the page to search for services. So similar to how people use SEO strategies to rank their content higher in Google search, similar strategies can be used to help your gigs rank higher in Fiverr search, which is a good thing. So now that you have a pretty good idea of what SEO is, I'm going to walk you through a couple of key considerations you can use to improve the SEO on your Fiverr gigs so that they're more visible to more buyers. And full disclaimer, this is by no means a full SEO course. SEO is a broad topic and it's constantly evolving based on how certain companies update and advance their search algorithms. With that being said though, if you haven't thought much about SEO in the past, the things I'm going to mention in this video should do a pretty good job helping you level up, giving you a better fighting chance of appearing in Fiverr search results. Keywords. So on the most basic level, keywords are words or phrases that describe a piece of content in a way that allows the search engine to understand what a particular page or piece of content is about. A keyword as it relates to Fiverr could be as simple as one word that does a good job of describing what your gig's about, or a keyword phrase, a series of words, or a common phrase that buyers are likely to be searching for that would help Fiverr match up those searches with your gigs. So now that you understand what keywords are and how they relate to Fiverr search and your gigs, you should spend some time reviewing your gigs, taking a look at your title and your gig description to see if you've used any keywords related to that gig in the title or gig description. If you haven't, you should think about doing that. Figure out a way to write your title that includes keywords that you think people are likely to be searching for, and do the same in your gig description. And one super important pro tip that you need to keep in mind when doing this is not to keyword stuff. It can be tempting to just think of a million different keywords, put them all in one paragraph, and just load your description with those keywords. This is bad for two reasons. One, when someone actually finds your gig and reads your description, they're going to hate you. They're going to think you're a robot, a spammer. That doesn't help them understand what your gig's about once they've found your gig. Two is a lot of search engines can pick up on this type of stuff. If you're just blasting a whole ton of keywords in your description without putting any sort of strategy or trying to make it flow and be both descriptive and rich in keywords, they might actually penalize your ranking in search. So make sure to keep this in mind when you're thinking about keywords when building your gig. Search authority. So the second layer of this whole SEO onion that you're going to want to consider when thinking about how to rank up your Fiverr gigs is search authority. In SEO, search authority has to do with the relative weight that a particular keyword or keyword phrase holds in a search engine. Basically, having a high search authority for a particular keyword would influence an algorithm, a search algorithm, in this case, Fiverr's algorithm, to think your gig or your piece of content is the most relevant or best piece of content to serve to a potential buyer that's searching for something related to it. Normally, on sites like blogs or websites, you would put out a lot of content over time about similar topic to help build the amount of search authority or weight your website has. The more content you put out, the more the algorithm's able to connect the dots, and the higher the chance of it serving up your content for that particular topic. But that's not really possible on Fiverr. When you're starting out on Fiverr, you're limited to creating 7 gigs, and you don't really want to make all these 7 gigs the same anyways. So when it comes to building search authority on Fiverr, creating a new post every day just isn't possible. It just doesn't work that way. Instead, authority on Fiverr comes in the form of ratings. Every time a buyer or a seller completes an order, the buyer is able to leave a rating 1 to 5 stars. This rating helps Fiverr understand how good you are or what your relative weight should be in a particular topic, and it also helps potential buyers realize your authority in a particular category or skill set. Basically, a 5-star rating tells Fiverr and other buyers that you're amazing, and it should increase the chance or probability of Fiverr recommending your gigs in search. So how do you influence authority on Fiverr? You'd basically want to make sure that you're always operating in a way that could lead to the best possible buyer experience. Complete orders on time, diffuse negative situations positively, do great work always, things like that. Metadata. So the next SEO concept that you're going to want to think about with your Fiverr gigs is called metadata. Metadata is usually page-specific text or identifiers that further help search engines understand what a particular web page is about. On Fiverr, this relates to tags that Fiverr allows you to associate with your gigs and your gig title. Fiverr allows you to use up to 5 tags for each gig, and you definitely should take advantage of all 5. And just like how you were thinking about keywords just a moment ago as it relates to your title and description, your gig tags should definitely be related to those keywords, and you should probably include the main focus keyword of your gig in both your title and the tag metadata section. Use tags that are either that keyword or very closely related to that keyword. You also might notice that when you create a gig title, Fiverr uses the words in that gig title to create the URL that directs people to your gig. So it really helps to be thoughtful in what keywords and what tags you're using, because if you can figure out a keyword that's really searchable, is in your gig title, your gig description, your gig tags, and in your gig URL, that helps Fiverr search algorithm strengthen its level of confidence for understanding what your gig's about, and that'll help it appear in search more often. All right, so there you have it. There's SEO as it relates to Fiverr, and if you haven't thought about this stuff before, you should really consider taking some time to implement this type of strategy with your Fiverr gigs. It will definitely help you increase the number of impressions you're getting, the number of quality, relevant buyers that you're getting purchasing your gigs, like no less mistaken buyers will slip through, and it'll help you make more money over time. Leave a comment below if you have any questions. I'm more than happy to help, but thank you so much for watching, and until next time, cheers.